back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
What is up, full time family? Top of the morning to you bitches. Let's get to the MMA news. We got so much stuff to talk about today. Plus, I plan on doing the first ever live stream on this channel. I know a lot of you have asked what time will that be. Probably about 4 or 5 hours from now. I got some stuff I got to get done from today. I'll actually schedule it, so I'll give you guys some time to know when it's coming. But with that being said, let's get to the first topic of today. It's actually sort of a serious topic. Jason Mayhem Miller. I mean, he's kind of beloved by the MMA community, but it's actually pretty serious, the things he's going through and went through, and I can relate to those on a personal experience. So I don't know where this video is gonna go, but Jason Mayhem Miller he just pled guilty to, let me pull up the article. All right, Jason Mayhem Miller pleads guilty to domestic violence charge. All right, now let's go a little bit into this charge. As reported by TMZ, Jason Mayhem Miller was arrested on September 27th and faced 5 domestic violence related felony charges, as well as various charges for damaging the car and house of former girlfriend. However, the fighter was released from Orange County Jail Tuesday morning. Miller has struck a plea deal and that threw out all of the fighter's charges except for a single one. Miller has pled guilty to corporal injury to a spouse or cohabitant. Miller will face 3 years probation and suspended 4-year prison sentence with credit for 62 days already served. So he's got a suspended prison sentence, which I'm pretty sure means he can't fuck up. I mean, he got off pretty light. You know, they said he only 1 charge stuck, and I'm not going to repeat all that, but Jason Mayhem Miller got off here. The thing about Jason Mayhem Miller, if you don't know who Jason Mayhem Miller is, I first knew who he was from the Bully Beatdown show a long time ago on MTV. Back when I was a fucking teenager, Jason Mayhem Miller was like the MMA fighter on that show. But then as I became more of a hardcore MMA fan and learned more about Jason Mayhem Miller, I seen some of his older like interviews and stuff, and it was kind of comedy, but at the same time you could tell he was kind of crazy. Now I've got a cousin that's kind of, I mean, he's cool, you know, he's cool, but at the same time, you know, he's a loose cannon. And then as far as, I mean, I'll see where this video goes, but Jason Mayhem Miller, though, there was one interview that really stuck out to me, and it was an interview with Ariel Helwani with Jason Mayhem Miller. I mean, I don't know if he was just like in some weird mental state, like I don't know if he was on some type of drug, but he like crawled on Ariel Helwani's desk, and like you could tell Ariel Helwani was just like generally concerned for the guy. Like, you know, he had him on there and he was acting out like you were almost fucking concerned for Ariel Helwani. Like, damn, is he about to snap on Ariel Helwani? He was crawling on the desk, and you could tell like Ariel Helwani, I don't know if he cried that interview, but it was like you could tell it was just like a general concern, and like you don't know whether to laugh or to cry. And I know exactly what that fucking feeling is. I'm doing that shit right now with my mom. Like, she's literally, I'm not gonna go too far, but she reminds me of a lot of like what I've seen in that Jason Mayhem Miller stuff. And with my mom, I know it's kind of got to do with drugs, but I'm not going to make any accusations with Jason Mayhem Miller. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just don't know whether to laugh or cry when they're acting out and just doing crazy stuff, and that's just what I thought of. So that's why this is kind of a different topic for me personally. I know a lot of people are probably just like, fuck this guy Jason Mayhem Miller, like he hit his, you know, girl or whatever. I grew up around all of that shit, so my perception is a little different. Like, I've seen both ends of domestic violence, like I've seen it personally, you know, so I don't fucking really touch on that subject a lot. But yeah, Jason Mayhem Miller pleaded guilty. Like I said, he's fucking got off, man. Hopefully he can get his stuff together. But I mean, for him to still be like, these interviews that I was talking about with Ariel Helwani were years ago, bro. Like, Jason Mayhem Miller hasn't fought in the UFC for years. But I mean, I think he's still, you know who this reminds me of, bro? I did think about before I made this video, Charles Felony Bennett. Charles Bennett, man, Charles Crazy Horse Bennett, he's a guy that's got like problems with the laws, but he can't get signed, and he wants signed. And it's like, it just reminds me of this, like, you know, these guys, and it's kind of, it's dangerous for an organization to sign these guys, because it can make the sport kind of look bad. Like, because whenever other people who don't really cover the sport, they're not hardcore fans, they don't know these guys' stories, they don't know Jason Mayhem Miller's story, they don't know Charles Bennett's story, they just see the bad, they just see the charges and shit like that. They're like, oh, look at these UFC fighters, fucking, they're all criminals and shit. So even though a lot of these guys have, you know, went through a lot of shit or are currently going through a lot of shit, which is always the case. It doesn't make an excuse for what they do, but I'm just saying, like, it makes it look bad for the sport whenever you just see the headline, ex-UFC fighter pleads guilty to 5, charges, or it's even worse if you say like fucking current UFC fighter, if one of these guys are still looking to fight. So I mean, it is what it is on this. I really didn't even, I just seen this on MMA Fighting and all these websites. That's why I'm doing an article on it. But yeah, so hopefully Jason Mayhem Miller can stay cool. He's really gonna have to be, or else he's probably gonna be looking at some serious time. I mean not serious time, not what you're talking about, like, but 3 to 4 years, I think. But it says Miller will face 3 years of probation and a suspended 4-year prison sentence with credit for 62 days already served. Miller has now been released to a rehab facility. The fighter must remain sober as part of this plea deal. If Miller does not remain sober during his probation, the fighter will be forced to serve his prison sentence. So yeah, if he doesn't remain sober, if he gets in any more issues, he can go back and serve out that 4-year suspended prison sentence. So hopefully he does stay cool. If not, man, it is what it is. I mean, that's all I got to say on this video. I think there's nothing else to say. Yeah, let the full-time family know what the fuck you tap at in the comments, man. I'm out. A lot of stuff to get to today. Actually, I'm not out. I just noticed that my boy Jesus M donated $40 and said, thanks for always pumping out the entertaining videos for the full-time family. I appreciate all the work you put in. Dude, I appreciate the donation. That is crazy, man. That's in the last, bro, I got off work and the full-time family threw me a donation. That shit blew my mind. I just woke up this morning, dog. Holy smokes, you guys, this is literally surreal. But yo, I much appreciated. I got a lot of more content to pump out today. I was doing that anyway, you know that. I don't care if you donate or not. I'm fucking pumping out the content, but that shit is life-changing. Much appreciated, brother. Thanks a lot. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.